Hey guys, how's it going? It's Della304 here. It's Sunday morning and I think we're going to be doing an oil change. So last night I did an oil change on my other car, my 2013 Accord, and I just knocked it out last night. And while I was out buying the oil for that stuff, I ended up coming out and while I was at the store I purchased the oil and filter for this car just in case I felt like doing it at the time. This one is at about 265,000 miles. I've only put about 2,500 miles on it since I bought the car, but it's been almost 6 months, and the oil that I put in here when I first got the car was not the greatest. I just went with the cheap O'Reilly Miranda oil because at the time I wasn't sure if the car was just going to leak it out or not. So right now we're just going to be starting up the car. We're going to go and drive it over to the driveway, and we'll get cracking. I'll do a video. I mean, this is just going to be an oil change video. It's not going to be anything really special or that interesting, but figured I'll do it because I've never done it before. As you can see, we're at 265,463 miles. I was supposed to change it at 266,000 miles. That's not going to focus, is it? When you're working on any vehicle on the ground, you definitely want to chock the rear wheels if you're just jacking up the front, just to be safe, especially since this driveway is not the most level thing in the world, and that's about as far as I can pull the car in. I just decided to chock both rear wheels just to be safe. Now, one tip when you're jacking up a car like this, you don't want to go as high as your jack can go, because once you put it on jack stands, then you're not going to be able to get it high enough to lower the car, unless you have a shim like my wood block. But I'd rather just raise it up enough so that I can do it rather than, you know, deal with that. All right, now we're going to take our jack stand, put it under the jack point where it's supposed to be. I'm gonna raise it up as pretty much as far as it'll go. Just keep track of how many notches you use because the other side has to be the same. Okay, so the highest I can go is 4 notches. I want to make sure the other side is also 4 notches so it's level. Okay, now I'm gonna lower the car down carefully. And then also when jacking up any car after you've jacked it up, just to make sure it doesn't fall on you once you get under there, shake the crap out of it to make sure that it's not going to go anywhere. I would say that's good. So now we can begin. Another thing that some people like to do is use the jack as, you know, kind of a redundancy when you're under the car, but with where the engine is, the jack's going to be right in the way of me doing the oil change, so I'm not going to do that. I feel like I've jacked up the car, you know, satisfactorily enough. It should be off the ground high enough for me to actually do this. The oil filter on this engine is actually all the way in the back under the intake manifold, so that'll be interesting, but I've done it once, I could do it again. Alright, so as you can see, here is our engine oil drain plug. It's a 17mm on this car, the same as my other car actually. So I'm just going to go ahead and carefully loosen this up. And that is literally it. Alright, sorry about that. I needed to go get my gloves because I know I'm going to spill everywhere. Obviously, it's a good idea to have some cardboard in your drain place so you don't get oil all over the ground. And there we go. Now some of you might be saying to yourself, this is the time you put a new crush washer on, and you would be 100% correct, but I tried to get one at AutoZone. I didn't have time to go by the Honda dealer last night, so they did not have any crush washers for this car in stock, so I'm just going to reuse this one and hope for the best. I'm sure reusing it once or twice isn't going to, hurt anything. I'll just keep an eye on the whole on leaks when I put it back together. Alright, so 99% of the oil has been drained, or so I assume. So pretty much what we're going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and put the drain plug back in. It's just a little bit harder than hand tight, so I think this oil pan might be a little messed up. I'm not too surprised though, with a car with this many miles and this much abuse. Go ahead and tighten this thing on there till it's tight. Go a little bit more than when it's tight, and that's pretty much it. Alright, so for this oil change I decided to go with Valvoline Max Life synthetic blend, high mileage, and I'm going with a Bosch premium oil filter. So what's funny is that I buy these same filters for my other car, and this filter for this 90 Honda Accord was like $1 more than the one for my 2013. It's kind of funny, but yeah, let's go ahead and prep the filter. Alright, so you prep your new oil filter by opening the new oil bottle. Go ahead and get some of the new oil here. And then you're basically just going to coat the ring with the new oil. Make sure you get full coverage. This is what will seal the ring to the engine block. That's pretty much good. So now your filter's ready to go on the car. Alright, so as you can see, the oil filter's in a pretty crappy spot. It's going to leak oil all over to the exhaust and the axle here, but yeah. I'm not going to be able to film putting the new filter on just because there's no way I can set the camera down and not have it get soaked in oil. So I'm just going to go put this on. Just visualize with your mind. So I got the old filter off. I guess I can show you the engine block while I'm at it. So there is the seat for the oil filter. And one thing to make sure of when you're doing this is you want to, whoop, it's too high. You want to make sure that there's no O-ring stuck on here from the old oil filter, and you also want to wipe this thing clean. It's going to leak oil out because it's, vertical, but yeah, you basically just want to make sure this is nice and clean. Make sure the O-ring from the old filter isn't on there. Go ahead and give this a nice wipe down, and then just screw your new filter on there. Okay, so now we're going to be filling her up. I have a very makeshift tripod for this, so hopefully the camera doesn't fall down, but so basically, I'm going to open the oil fill cap. I like to put it on the hood latch so I don't close the hood without putting the cap on. Let's go ahead and, well, I'm going to wipe this out real quick. Okay, let me go ahead and stick her in there. Grab our Valvoline Max Life oil. This is not a sponsorship. This is just what I chose to go with for this car. I use Castrol Edge in my other car. But yeah, something people don't know, you don't want to pour the oil this way because then it's going to glug. You actually want to hold the can sideways and do it that way. So we're going to put in 4 quarts because that's what this car's capacity is. And we're done. Go ahead and get my cap out of here. I mean the funnel. Stick the oil fill cap back on. And we're done. Okie dokie. Sounds fine to me. And there you go, guys. That is how I perform oil changes on my vehicles. Thank you for watching, and have a good one. And of course, after you finish your oil change, don't forget the oil change reminder sticker. Because to some people, this is the oil change.